What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man, and yes, I'm back at it again. And honestly, I don't think I've done this on my channel before. I just caught up to Assassin's Pride, and I think we're at episode 10. And I just wanted to discuss it with you guys because I noticed that a lot of people are watching it and reacting to it and talking about it and stuff. And I just wanted to give my opinion and my thoughts on the anime because I'm caught all the way up. And I gotta say, I'm super excited for episodes 11 and 12 because stuff is getting heavy, man. It's getting real interesting. And Melida, her and Elise are gonna have they got a fight coming up with the two chicks from the other school. Now, with the whole story as a whole, I'm actually really enjoying it. At the beginning of the anime, I honestly thought it was gonna be like that whole lolicon type thing, like maybe like with Gate, and but it wasn't. That wasn't the case. We find out that Kufa is actually he's 17, and I think Melida is like she's like 12 or 13. So I mean, like he's older than her, but it doesn't really set up the whole lolicon thing to me. I mean, because they're both teenagers, so it felt like, or preteen or whatever. So it felt like they're kind of close right there in range. So it doesn't really do that, set up that whole lolicon thing for me. I guess you can still look at it that kind of way, but like for me, it didn't really feel like that. Once I found out that he was 17, I thought he was maybe way older. I thought he was maybe like 20 something, and he was watching over her, and he was her mentor. So I felt like I thought it was going to set up that whole vibe, but it didn't. And I'm okay with that, and I'm okay that knowing that he's 17 and she's like 12 or 13. And let's be real, let's be honest, like that doesn't make it right in like real world standards. But in an anime and having it set up and stuff like that, I'm okay with that. That's just my opinion. But the story as a whole, I'm thoroughly intrigued because we start off with the story and we see that Kufa is actually attacking someone, and it starts off with him having a fight, and we see him going ham. And then throughout the whole show, we see more of his abilities, and we learn that he's a vampire and he's a half. What are they called? Anyway, whatever the little goblins or monsters or whatever they're called in this world, he's half of that. But he's a vampire, and dude, that fight between him and the dude with the bandages was hardcore. I think in like episode 8 or 9. I think that was, it might have been 7 or 8. I think either or. That whole fight where the dude chopped off his arm and we see him transform fully, and it was cool. It was so cool, and we learned that he's not just human, and like his arm regenerated and everything. And then when we get to, I want to say it's 8 or 9, and we go to the village, and we find out that the Rossetti chick that we got introduced when we first started the episode, where he met her on the train and he was nice to her, that's his sister. Like a lot of stuff unfolded, and I like the way that it played out. Like it didn't happen too soon, or it didn't just feel thrown at you. It kind of evolved and happened over time, and the way that it came out was very, very nice. Like it happened in this town where he was originally found at. We find out that Rossetti's his sister, and like he erased her memory because he had a deal with the guy that was over his little Assassin's Guild or whatever. So it was nice to have all of this information pumped out at me, and it didn't happen too fast, and then it didn't come out of left field. They set groundwork, so we saw why he was nice to her and how he. So you see what I'm saying? It was set up so nice, and I was okay with it, and I understand how they set it up. And like his past is kind of tragic too, man. Like these monsters was working with the guy, I can't remember his name. Anyway, Rossetti's stepfather, and he kind of tricked him and to operating on these kids and turning them into half of whatever they are. And for some reason, his took fully, and it turned him into a vampire. And the dude that he was attacking called him like the Ice King and stuff. So it was nice to have all of this information, and the way that it panned out, it was set up so nice. But yeah, man, let's go back into the beginning because after we find out that he is an assassin, he gets this job, and has to go be an attendant to one of the famous houses or whatever, and it's House Angel, and that's where we come in contact with. Is it Melody? No, Melinda. Oh crap! I gotta find her name. I said it at the beginning of the video, and now I don't remember. Oh, that's so crap. But anyway, he has to become her attending servant and her mentor to teach her. I gotta remember. Melida. Okay, that's what her name is. Anyway, and he has to teach her. And it comes to find out that she's being bullied at the school. That's your typical thing. But she doesn't have any powers. Well, she can't pull out any mana, and that's a big deal because she's a part of House Angel. And actually, he's portraying to be her mentor, but actually he was sent there to find out, is she really an angel, or did her mother have an affair and possibly kill her? But coming in contact with her, he found that she was such a nice girl, and he ended up really liking her, and she never argued about anything that was happening to her, because we also learned that her father was sending these monsters to attack her to force her mana to appear. So it was a lot of stuff going. This chick has a troubled childhood, man. She was, and no one really believed that her father was her father. They felt like her mother cheated and had an affair because she never manifested her mana. So, long story short, Kufa takes and does some kind of little project and allows her to tap into his mana, and she becomes a samurai. Now, the cool thing about that is we also learned that there's a bunch of different subcategories that you can tap into. And she just happens to tap into samurai, but people from House Angel end up being a paladin, which is what her cousin is. And her cousin's super strong, but she's one of those shy types that she doesn't really like battle. None of this is really for her. She's like super timid. So, but she's super strong also. But we also learned that he doesn't want her to expose herself as being a samurai because she tapped into his mana until she actually has the competition where they got to fight some of the kids from their school. And that's what the whole thing was. It was revealed. She stood out strong, and she ended up losing to her cousin. And everybody in this whole show keeps calling her incompetent girl, even after she's constantly proving herself now because she's tapped into mana, whether it's House Angel's mana or not. She's tapped into mana, and she's constantly proved herself, but they keep calling her this incompetent girl. And the boss of the Assassin Guild contacted him and was like, well, why haven't you killed her yet, or found out information? Why haven't you done your job you were supposed to do? And it comes we find out that he's actually enjoying taking care of her, being around her, and they build such a wonderful bond. Now, to me, the bond they're building, and him being a little older than her, and her being maybe like 12 or 13, and revolving around the kind of world that we're in and everything that's going on, I got Black Bullet vibes. That's just me. I don't know if anybody else felt like that, but I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but I'm just saying with the young girls and the whole school being with young girls and the other schools having the young girls, and us getting involved with the young girls and having a mentor or someone that just watches over her and the powers and everything, it felt like Black Bullet to me. That's just my theory. And I'm not saying it's the exact same thing as Black Bullet. It just felt like Black Bullet vibes in certain scenes and certain moments and overall as a whole. But that's just my takeaway. But I love Black Bullet. So, I mean, I'm enjoying the heck out of Assassin's Pride. And I'm super excited for episodes 11 and 12 because they're really drawing me in, man. And I could definitely see us getting a season 2. If I could definitely see it because I feel like they may wrap up like with some of the stuff around these next 2 episodes, but for them to they can't. I mean, there's so much going on. They can't just end it with those 2 episodes. We have to get another season. But like I said, man, I really enjoyed the show, and later on in the series, well, maybe where we are now, like episodes 9, 8, 9, and 10, some of the people are starting to recognize her, and now we come into this whole little other mini arc where her and Elise have to go down into like this super library that's operated by ghosts or whatever. And if they come out victorious, then people will recognize her, because we also learned that on the side, these two chicks from the other school, when they had this competition and everything, they are plotting with some of these people behind the scenes and everything, that she isn't a daughter of House Angel and they want her dead. And I feel like there's all this going on, but I feel like she's definitely a daughter of House Angel. There's no way that she's not. And even if she is, they don't have to kill her. And I don't know, man, because everybody seems like they want Elise to take over for the Angel House, and she's not. Not to say she's not competent, but that's not her role. She doesn't want to do that. She just wants to follow Melida, be behind her, and have her as a sister figure, and just have fun with her. That's all she wants. She doesn't want to be the leader of House Angel or anything. And the funny thing is, because I'm starting to think that even her father now accepts the fact that she's his daughter, or he doesn't really care anymore, because she showed that she has mana. It's just not paladin mana. But at this point, I think he's okay with the fact of her not being his daughter. I don't know. It's so weird, because he's not involved in this decision making. And what he said at the end of episode 10 was that, people, they're coming together. And that's the council people that we saw with the girl's brother from the other school. That's what I'm saying. There's so much going on that they can't just end it with this season. We definitely have to have a season 2. And I'm super intrigued, man. I mean, I know I just rambled about this whole episode. I mean, about the whole show overall. But I felt like I just had to get it out there, man, and just talk about it with you guys, because I ended up watching the show and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And comment down below. Let me know what is your thoughts about this show, man. Are you enjoying it? Are you watching it? And tell me, did you get Black Bullet vibes? If you haven't seen Black Bullet, go watch Black Bullet and then come back and watch Assassin's Pride, and tell me you don't get that kind of whole. It's similar. If it's like, there's certain things in there where it ties in and they're kind of similar, but that's just my opinion, man. This is your boy Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.